Yo, yo. Yo, what's up, Demra? It's, I guess it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Um, how are y'all doing? Mm. Ah. So, today... Hey, привет, Хачапури. Привет, Хачапури. Привет, Cobalt. We don't have Froggy tonight because he's busy with some stuff. But I think he's here with us. Here. And also here. During the live chat. So, Maya Sip says, hey, what's up? Lala, Samano, Saha. Yuan. Maya Sip. And I'm guessing Steiner says, yo, yo, what's up, Steiner? Yeah. And we have, I guess, an interesting question, topic for today, which is the problems with learning the Mongolian language. I'm back there next to the green light. Yay. Yo, maybe your chest here. Ah. Yeah. Hello, Broken Fang, hello. My fang is not broken, but my front teeth is broken. If that means anything. Okay, and back to the topic, I guess. The Mongolian language. Yes, Tamir says stop. Yeah. So the Mongolian language. As far as I know, we don't have super good learning materials out there. Even if we do have one material, it's not complementary, it's just one material in itself. And also it's difficult to find them in English, in Russian, in any other languages. So how have you been learning Mongolian? If you've been learning, that is. Or if you're wanting to learn it, or maybe you're interested in this thing. Yep. Theory Bowsy, there Bowsy. Hey, you like dumplings, because Baozi is dumplings in Chinese. And a funny thing is that we also say boats, which comes from Baozi. So the question of the day: How are you all learning Mongolian? If not learning, how would you like to learn? If there were decent, if were there great materials to work with. Is Mongolian word for Arslan really lion? Yes, it is. The word Arslan is lion. In the same way in Hungarian as well, I think it also means lion, Arslan. I have a question. Do we need to learn sentence structure or something else? I believe that's the place where we should start, kinda, but first and foremost, I think we should start with vocabulary, and after vocabulary, sentence structure. Because you can't do much with just knowing sentence structure, but you can do quite a lot by just knowing vocabulary. Um, for example, um, you can let other people know that you want to eat. And in Mongolian, the infinitive uh, for the word to eat is idich. So if you were to, let's say, travel in Mongolia, let's say, and you're hungry, but you want to let the locals know that you're hungry, you can show them idich. And if you know, say idich and show them, or like, I don't know, like this, like Italians, I don't know, then they would understand what you're trying to say, not fully, but at least they'll get the gist, and maybe they'll show you to the place where you can get something to eat. I would learn from some language books. I once found language course on Google, but that was only words for tourists. Yep. So what kind of books do you prefer when you're learning languages? Well, some time ago I found downloaded textbook of Mongolian, and those books. So yeah, let us know if you find any problems, and what are your preferences. I don't know how good it is. Well, you would know if it's giving good result, or maybe if it's entertaining. And if it's not, and if it's confusing, then it might be a little bit problematic. Like books from my childhood for English and German. I think what you're saying about books from your childhood for English and German is that they have quite a lot of, let's say, imagery, vibrant imagery, and also easy to follow along exercises. Is that what you mean? Because there are times when language course books are just filled with texts, like raw texts, more academic stuff, which are very difficult to read. Well, to read with interest, unless you're into that stuff. But yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see. That would make sense because, as far as I know, I haven't found anything similar for Mongolian language, just like those German or English books. From what I remember, at least, well, it doesn't mean I've seen every course books out there. Just I was interested in finding good stuff, but yeah. And what else? I think I forgot to wear my good old wizard costume. Sorry, my armpit hair is exposed to everyone on YouTube, but it's only for it's only momentary. But maybe it's eternal in your memories now. And I apologize for that, for the damage. Yeah. It's what you call psychological damage, maybe. Sorry. Okay, so we discussed about books. What about video materials, like content stuff? Have you found any good language course for Mongolian on maybe YouTube, or if there's any Coursera, stuff like that? If you found good language course, let me know, because I would like to watch it and see whether if they're good and stuff. I thought the white shirt was kind of image of you for today. Ah, uh, it seems not, but you can still see it here. It feels a bit more, I don't know, colorful. There are patterns, and I like it more than just blank um, tank top. I don't know if it's tank top though. Just like eye shirt. It's not t-shirt, it's eye shirt. You have shirt, t-shirt, and eye shirt. You're right, because in case of English language, majority know at least 20 or 30 words in English. However, in Mongolian language, usually most of people don't know basic words. Yeah, it's true. If they know any, I don't know, it's Sambano, Bairtla, Bairte. I didn't find good videos yet. Yeah. So, Maya Sip, I have a question. What makes a good language video? What do you like in them? Do you... Marhaba. Yeah, marhaba. Right. Um, so, what makes a good language course video? Is it in the what you call length? Do you prefer short length videos that have practical contents compressed in them, or do you like long what you call it, 10-20 minutes of long video lessons where you can just sit, watch, consume, and chill? Let me know. Kind of language video courses do you prefer? Short, mid-ish, or long content? In terms of, let's say, length. And maybe we can change the what you call camera angle like this. Oh my god, the camera angle have been changed, and the angles might try to drink tea because they're angles. That was a stupid joke, sorry. So Tamir Batsahan says, as for me, I like lengthy videos that are taught with examples. Yeah. I wonder if it's now that we're talking about this, I'm kind of thinking of possibility that Evet abi, Semih Baytar says, evet abi. Çok güzel. Çok güzel. Are you Turkish? Okay. So if I end up making language course properly instead of making episode 1 and then forget about it, like if I start making videos, I don't know, maybe 2 language course videos or maybe 3 in a week, as I would prefer short, mid, content in many parts, forming long as hell course. Yeah, I think it is possible that I could make maybe, let's say, 10 minutes of video, and with examples and explanations and everything. And also I could make a short video, like compressed video of that video, where I just give the fundamentals, the most necessary part, maybe with one example and all. And this way you can watch lengthy stuff if you're interested, if you want to learn more, or you could just go with short stuff if you don't have time. It's a possible action, like it's a possible, let's say, course of the course. That was a stupid sentence from me, but yeah, it's doable, I think. What else? Videos or podcast? Maybe in the case of podcast, it might be better if I make stories or conversations based on the words that we've gone through, just so that you could hear it better without having to watch videos. Maybe, I'm just thinking. Let us know what you think. Comments. Because by combining your and my brain together, all of our brains together, maybe we can come up with the best language learning materials and courses. Yeah, Semih Baitar says video over podcast. Yeah, maybe it's because it's not just only visual, but also like you can hear it as well, and it's a combination of reading images and hearing. So almost all types of videos will work. Yeah, sorry, my nose is blocked. Yep, we have some sickness spreading in Mongolia. By sickness I mean flu, cold. And if I go down with it, I'll be down with the sickness. Oh, that was a stupid joke. Also, just wondering, if I, let's say, start making private course, one-on-one, would you be interested? But of course, I'm not gonna do it for free. It takes time, but still, like, would you be interested if I do one-on-one course where I can try to talk? Well, after making those materials, at some point you have to talk, because how can you learn language if you don't talk, if you don't speak it, right? Because input is one thing and output is another thing. You have to have input and output together in order to learn. Yeah, like when you apply things with your own mind, you start to understand. Until you don't apply it, until you apply it, you won't learn it, I think. So if I start doing that kind of thing, would you be interested? I think it's necessary, maybe. Maybe I'm just trying to promote this business if I do it at all. Yeah. I can say that I like videos where you can clearly sum up with material and find and know how to use it. I'm just thinking, how can I make it so that it'll be entertaining from the beginning all the way until the end. In English language, verbs are the main role of learning the language. Yeah, maybe yes, Mongolian verbs. They're a bit what you call a bit complicated, because Mongolian noun and adjectives, they don't change much, unless but mostly I think most of the complexities come with Mongolian verbs. Hachapuri by yakshglinis. So Hachapuri by chok. Chok is like no. I don't know. By is wealth. So Hachapuri wealth, no. It's like Hachapuri is not rich. Semi says you're very handsome. Oh, okay. I was thinking of Turkic words, and it seems I had what you call misunderstanding. Yeah, because by, it should be the root word for wealth, and chok should be no, right? Or maybe it's just different words. In any case, thank you for saying teşekkürler. Çok teşekkürler ederim. I forgot the phrase. Thank you so much. Hey, Nico. Yeah, stop, brother. Say, Nico, have you tried to learn Mongolian? If not, could you tell us a word or two? Myself, I also have questions about the languages. What role case Padiji has in Mongolian? And there are 8 cases, yes. That's an interesting question, Maya, because formally speaking, at least what my Russian professor, she said that according to one research of her students, Mongolian doesn't have cases. Mongolian has something similar to cases, but it doesn't fall in the exact same category as the Indo-European cases. And I don't really know much further in details about why it is so, but in any case, we do have we do have a system of language within the language that acts like cases, and it is true that we have 8 cases. And Dumfries says, "Zdarova, bratan, как дела?" So what is these cases? I have no idea. It's just better to go with cases, because they have the same function and role of cases. I have looked around for resources, but haven't really started yet. Nico, which type of resource would you prefer, homie? Yeah, for example, pronunciation is difficult. The traditional Mongolian script looks interesting. It's difficult to learn. So the traditional, okay, Dumfries says, все отлично, у вас как? У меня все отлично, как ты видишь, я не умер пока. I said I'm doing all good. I haven't died yet, as you can see. Bayırta. Sammy says Bayırta. Okay. See you, man. Bayırta. Okay. He says goodbye. Okay. So Nico says Bicham Harte. Oh wow. Thank you. Thank you, Nico. But no homo though. No homo, Nico. But thank you. Okay. So our friend, I don't know how to read Hanzi, but he says, yes, for example, the pronunciation is difficult. The traditional Mongolian script looks interesting. It's difficult to learn. Yes, the traditional Mongolian script, it is quite difficult because it is difficult. The reason why is that the script in itself, even though it is considered to be an alphabet, it still has a different system of writing. Not just the way how it is written, but also for one letter you have 3 forms in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So you have to learn the 3 different forms, and also and there are some other complexities that come along with the writing just in itself. And then the pronunciation part is also difficult because this writing system was adopted around 800 years ago, so it was adjusted to the pronunciation of that time, and the pronunciation of words have changed in the last 800 years. So you have to know how things change. You have to find the general changes, and then it'll be easier for you to learn. But it's almost like learning like 1.5 language, kind of. For example, like one of the examples that which I know is the word "ol," which is mountain. Let me write it. It's better to see it. Mountain is "ol" in modern, and "qotla" in old. So yeah, Maya says, you mean you don't have these kto, kamuchim. We do have those questions, and we have ways to answer to those things by adding different suffixes. And cases, you mean like if conditionals. If we do have cases is not if conditionals. Cases are падежis. If conditionals are supposed to be different, I think. Nico says, I found some videos on Mongolian language. I like those, but I guess I need to learn the script first. Oh, Nico, like if you want big challenge, you can go with script first and then the language itself, but I would highly suggest that you go first to the language, just the practical language. You start speaking it, listening and understanding it, and maybe writing the Cyrillic part. And only afterwards, I would highly encourage you to try learning script, because it'll be very intimidating for you to learn the language and the script together, because it's gonna mess up your brain. It's even worse than French, to be honest, because in French you write oisiaux and then read it as oiseau, but in our case, it's like writing Oizaux and reading Wazoo, but in two different writing systems. One is Cyrillic and the other one is Old Script. So you have another level of complexity there. So I would highly encourage you to first just go with one, then traditional. Not both together mixed up, kinda. And yeah, what is Portuguese? Yes, it's a Turkish word, I think. And Nico says, oh yeah, I mean Cyrillic script. After that, I can learn Mongol. Yeah, that's better. That's better. It's easier because Cyrillic script was adopted around 70 years ago. So it was adjusted to the pronunciation of that time, which 70 years ago isn't that far, long time ago. So whenever we read the words without hurrying, we would almost read them almost letter by letter, like each letter corresponds to each sound almost. Whereas with Mongolian script, it's a different story. That's a nice thing about the Mongolic. Yeah, and if you're interested in why Agota became old, then there's an interesting explanation. The ge, the letter G, right, between A and O, that one was a weak part, was a weak sound of the word within the word, because within the word you have the weak sound and then strong sounds, and apparently the sa, u, sa, that part was the was the strong part of the word. So the weak part, it got omitted after some time because you don't really necessarily have to pronounce it. So for the sake of simplification, the letter G or G was omitted, and then the A in the beginning, you can't say aola. It's just better to say ola instead of aola. So the A became O. So now we have long noun, like double nouns, like long noun sound, I guess. And also the ending A got omitted, also because it was a weak position. And what you get is ol instead of agola. Or another what you call example. Which is in modern and abo. So abo, instead of saying abo, and the O kind of came backwards to A, and then it became A. Instead of saying abo, it's better to say ab. Abo, ab. I guess in the old time, the strong position was abo. So later on, it became av. That's what I think. That's my explanation. And yeah, you'll get so many of these kind of things. When you're reading in old script, you're like, what does I know Olagan mean? Yeah, like Olagan. It's quite strange. But then when you apply these rules of phonetic changes, then you would understand that G got omitted, and then you get Olan instead of Olagan, which means red. I got entangled. I hope my explanation isn't messed up. Like, let me know if my explanations are are difficult to keep up with because maybe I'm explaining things from my perspective and maybe it's not very understandable from your perspective. It is possible. Yes. Oh, damn it. Sorry. Yeah, it makes sense if I write it down on the board to show the exact changes, like by giving the arrows here and there, like where's the strong position, where's the weak position, and that way it might gonna be a bit more understandable if you have the graph and all those stuff. Yes. Okay. It's nice that modern way is more phonetic and making it easier for sure. The modern let's say the modern language is more hard for the ears because the old was based mostly on syllables, which is a very pleasing for the ears, whereas modern has double consonants or double vowels. Yeah, I think at some point I got mixed up with vowels and nouns. I messed it up, I think. In any case, it sounds a bit more harsh for the ear when you have two consonants together, like haltar, haltar. Yeah, sounds very rough. But if you for example, my name, Battır, Battır. It's rough when you really pay attention. But if it was in the old language, then it would have been syllables. One consonant, one vowel, one consonant, one vowel, mostly. And my name would have been Batoturu. So instead of saying Battır, you say Batoturu. And the old pronunciations are a bit more longer, but more softer, I guess. For example, the modern, not modern, but the modern Turkic languages, the word for black is kara, and kara doesn't sound that bad, or it doesn't sound that harsh. And I think the old Mongolian word for black was also kara, but today it's khar, which is, I don't know, a bit more simplified and a bit more harsh, in my opinion. But I guess it all depends on the ears of the beholder. Will LeBron says, waves, hello, la la. Hey, I guess we're like bodies of water. When we see each other, what do we do? What do we say? We don't say anything. We just wave. Well, maybe you know this joke. It's a classic joke. Yeah. What else? You mean you can pronounce it like Battır? Yeah, so the modern pronunciation is Battır. That's how we write it, Battır. But in the old script, it is written as Batoturu. And that's the complexity I'm talking about. Well, Brian, this is why Wednesday the stream is my favorite part of the workday morning. Yeah, thank you, man. Allah. Love you. And no homo. Yeah. Yeah, as I previously mentioned, Battır, Batoturu, these are two different writings in two different writing systems, but it means the same thing. That's why it's best to learn Cyrillic first. And we also have Latin letters when we're writing online. It's easier to write with Latin letters. Sorry, my nose. And bololo. By the way, when you learn different languages, I'm guessing you've already had, let's say, your favorite book or your favorite type of contents. Let me write it in the comments. What are your favorite book, video channel, or other resources of other languages? Like, do you have your favorite language course YouTube channel? If so, could you share them? Okay, so Rumin says Halk Mongolian is very different from my dialect. I learned them at the same time and often get confused. Rumin, you mean, yes, you're Buryat, right? There's a YouTube channel called the Classic Mongolian Script that teaches the traditional script, but they're from Inner Mongolia, so there are some minor language differences to watch out for. The Classic Mongolian Script, the channel owner sometimes writes comments on my videos. He or she, or maybe they're super chill people. I appreciate them. They're cool. Rumen, Halk Mongolian. I wouldn't say it's like very different. You just have to know which sounds you have to change, and then get adjusted to those changes. That's how you'll be able to understand most of the words. Because the Buryat language and the Halk language, like dialects, they just changed sounds in their own ways, but the words remain the same most of the time. They father and daughter. Oh, nice. That's very wholesome. And what else? Actually, it's an interesting thing to say, a bit controversial. In a way, probably some of you remember that 2 years ago or something, China tried to ban Mongolian language from schools. I don't know how successful they are with this. I think I'll just put my legs down. I don't know how successful they are right now. Maybe we'll see. And I am kinda, in a way, of course, I don't like what they're doing, but in a way, I appreciate them in a way, because I also watch Mongolian language Namingir school on YouTube. They offer formal classes through their website. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Smart of them to do that. So about the Chinese policy on taking down the Mongolian language from schools, it created this kind of a movement, this movement among our people, that there is an imminent threat to our culture and to our existence. And thanks to that kind of threat, we started moving. So in the past, even though I did want to make videos about our language, music, and I didn't do it because I didn't have enough motivation to work on those things. Instead, I was doing things that I love personally, which were I don't know, rhetoric stuff, language related things, but in a very messed up artistic way, I guess. But after learning about those news, I decided to contribute something in the awareness and so on. And that's why I started making a lot more Mongolian culture related videos because of China. So, in a way, I have to say thank you to Zhonghua or China. So, that's a controversial topic, but I think you get my point. And yes, one of the reasons why I'm asking you today about these language related thing, like language learning course, and your opinions and so on, is to find out the best way of delivering language course to the people. And yeah, let us know. Maybe I'll get more survey. I'll prepare a survey and ask more, like what you call, more up to the point type of questions, and then I'll spread it on my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, or wherever. And that way, maybe I'll be able to create a master language course that that rules over other language courses, just like Sauron or something. So I also watched Mongol language. No, the difference between Mongol and Inner Mongol, for example, the clothes. The clothes, yeah, it's mostly the same, but of course there are regional variations. The north, the south, the central, the west, the east. All of those Mongolic people, they all have their regional variations, but overall the common clothes are the same. One of the notable differences between our clothing would be resting clothes. In the south, they still cling on to the old resting clothes, especially the pants. Those pants were worn for maybe more than 1,000 or maybe even 2,000 years. I guess we could say that. Whereas in the Half or in the central region, we just wear trousers, like tight pants, like not like pants in a pants long way, but I mean like in a panties kind of way. Interesting stuff. Well, if talk about other language, I like Finnish. Yeah, I know some sources where I learned. I can share. Please do share. The thing that also helps me is to communicate with native speakers. That really helps. Yes, that's the thing. You really have to speak it, because a lot of my friends who learn Mongolian, when I ask them, "Hey, let's speak," they say, "No, I'm not ready." But like, when will you be ready? You've been like learning it for 2-3 years now. No, just what's the point of learning language if you don't speak it, or if you don't want to speak it? You have to push yourself and find ways to speak. I think. And another thing with speaking is that the written Mongolian, even in Cyrillic, right? The written Mongolian and the spoken Mongolian, especially the fast-paced, normal conversation Mongolian, they're a bit different because during the normal conversations we end up omitting certain sounds which are there in the letters, but we end up omitting them. So you have to train your ears to catch those words. So in this case, I would say you would really need someone to speak slowly in Mongolian, at least first. Slow spoken Mongolian, then a bit fast paced, then normal paced Mongolian. You have to go in these ways in order to start catching them with your ear. Do you easily understand Buryat speech? My Baksha says he doesn't understand Khalkh as well. When Buryats speak fast-paced, like normal-paced Buryat conversation stuff, I understand 30% of it. Like I can find like common words and I can understand what they're talking about, but yeah, it's difficult to find certain words here and there in it. But if they start speaking slowly, with simple ways, maybe with gestures and so on, then I think I'll be able to understand much more. Like we'll be speaking in a primitive caveman language. B. Os Omar Ben Haan Os Oj Болох Ve Chi Midich O. If I speak like that, Buryats will understand me. I'm sure. Buryats, Kalmyks, and Inner Mongolians, they'll understand what I'm saying if I talk like that. Will Labran says, another thing I do is search YouTube for Mongolian language children's television. Usually there's a lot of repetition of vocabulary and simple syntax, and pronunciation is usually more consistent. I still don't know what the little blue creature in the Jungle Kid cartoon is supposed to be, but it gets the language in my ears in a way that helps me to train my oral understanding. So much vowel elision. Yes, maybe I can create contents like that using simple syntax and simple words with good with proper pronunciation, and also English equivalent on top, and maybe English translation, proper translation below, maybe. And this way you'll be able to find each and every word. You can hear how they sound and so on. And this way it'll be super easy for you to follow along those words. It's almost like spoon feeding at first, at least. And then after a while, you might not gonna need that after a while. Who knows? Willa Brown says I'd be interested in that. So let's say if I start making these contents, I guess it would be better if I create another channel for the language, or the main channel would suffice. What do you think? Because it might collide with the contents of the main channel, or maybe the main channel is already meant for this type of contents. Yep. So in the meanwhile, I'll just change the camera angle. Oh, the camera has been changed. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, boy. And so radiant, nobody important. Thank you. I'm glittering, bitch. I don't think it would be out of place on the main channel, but I'd subscribe to one that was language focused. Yeah, the main channel, it would be nice if I put it on the main channel because I can monetize those videos. And if I make videos of at least 8 minutes of length, then yeah, maybe who knows, I can make $1 or $2 from one video. That that would kind of motivate me a bit. I don't know if it's gonna motivate or maybe demotivate me. Who knows? But at least that's one of the advantage of having it on my main channel. Definitely do what gets you paid. Hey, thank you. YouTube channels. Ansel Alei Kathak Finnish, a text of Vichimskaya helps me to learn Finnish. I think I'll check those YouTube channels for Finnish. Big fan for a while. Keep coming back to you from content. Keep going. I'm surprised you haven't gotten a larger fan base. To be honest, I'm surprised that I have fan base. Like today, I think this channel got 7,800 subscribers, which is a very big thing for me because I've never had such success before. So I'm really happy with what I've got right now. Maybe I could try to expand it more if I know where and how. Like, where can I find audience which are interested in the contents that I'm making? If I could find places, communities like that, maybe it'll be easier for them, like for me to promote my contents there, and it'll be a win-win situation. Like I get more subscribers and they find what they're looking for, but I don't know where I can find good communities for Mongolian stuff. You're awesome, you're responsible, it's beyond humble. Thank you. Sometimes I'm very humble. Yeah, we're your fans. Thank you. No, I don't have fans here, but I might as well use this book. That we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I got this book today. Ugut Kohan. Yeah, badamtas. Yeah, Ugut Kohan. It means knowledge or maybe ability to speak, kinda. It's like the Mongolian equivalent of rhetorics. Very cool stuff. It's like a certain type of ability that teenagers should learn, should have learned, I guess, during the Mongolian Empire times, or maybe before that. Just about how to bring order to your mind and bring order to your thoughts, and how to be persuasive, how to speak properly. It's not about how to speak in court, in palaces, because that's high level stuff, but this one is some type of education that everyone had to learn back in the good old days, but it's in Mongolian. Very cool stuff. If you want to learn how to speak properly, like Mongols in the good old times, then maybe I could give you compressed forms, compressed ideas from here. Who knows? What is that book? Yes, I just explained. Just read your message now. Derek Blower says, it's true what you're saying. Your content is interesting and few people are are interested, but I think you're able to get them interested. Much love from your friend in Canada. Ah, yay. Uh, I've tried maple syrup, I think. Was it a Canadian thing? Someone brought it from Canada. There was syrup from a certain tree, and it was delicious. I was like eating it with spoonfuls. It was super sweet, but it reminded me eating honey because I eat honey like that. I take a spoonful of honey and then I eat it. I've been eating maple syrup uh, and finished one like whole bottle jar of maple syrup within like 2-3 days or something. Uh, Linda Pilgrim said, "You said you lived in Belgium for quite a while." Yes, I lived in Belgium for 4 years. Yeah, I think for 4 years. Yeah, good times, good times, great people. Well, I had great friends there. Yep. Roman says, and another stupid question is halha there is no h sound similar to the one in English. I did not find such letter on the Mongolian keyboard. So yes, the Buryats, they have the H letter. I don't know how they pronounce the H. Maybe it's H. I can't say for sure. But in the Halha dialect, we have two H sounds, but they're both written with one letter. The difference is usually mostly can be seen with when you add one type of vowel afterwards. For example, if there's a or u, then the sound is h, like ha. But then if it's e or u, then it's ha, he. Uh, those are two different H sounds that we have, but in the old script, those two sounds are differentiated. Why don't you contact some of those people and have them spread around your channel? Yeah, I could do that. I just need to know where are those people and whether if they're interested in promoting this channel. Unless I start doing things which they want, which would most probably be some kind of problem which they would like to solve. And in this case, the language learning resources are a problem, I guess. In a way it is. There is not enough resources. And also there aren't, what you say, enough variables that variations of those resources which people would like, because some people like videos, others like podcasts, others like books and so on. So it's just only on one type of limited ways. So if I could find a way to make content which everyone would like and solve their problems, that would be great. And maybe once I start doing that, maybe people will start sharing the contents in their communities. Maybe. Derek Blower says, I can probably say that I've harvested and refined maple syrup. It oozes out of the maple like tree like blood. We heat and stir the maple syrup until it's less thick and more liquid. Hungarian Gigachat says sus. He says, play Elden Ring. Derek Blower says, community in Canada, the culture of those who live more rurally would blend very well with Mongolian. I may be outlawed for listening to Mongolian music in public, but they would dig it if they gave it a try. I think so. I believe the climate in Canada is in some way similar to Mongolia because of cold winters. And also there should be locals out there, the people who lived there before, they also have similar throat singing culture, I guess. It's not the same, but they do utilize their throat stuff to make sounds. And in general, the culture and everything, like maybe nomadic or somewhat nomadic, is similar to ours. And I believe those people immigrated from Asia like many thousand years ago, when the ocean was ice. But that's just a theory. But that would make sense because their language structure is very similar to Northern Asian Siberian languages. The only type of language structures are out there is Northern Siberian and Native American stuff. Very interesting stuff when you compare those structures. I could talk on this topic a bit longer if you'd like, but GigaChat, yes, very similar, yes, except biggest difference is that we actually have tree. Siberia has tree too. Yeah, we do have trees in the north, closer to Siberia, like lots of forested places, and the climate is very similar to Siberia. It gets really cold during the winter. Lots of mosquitoes and stuff. You play Ultra Kill. Yeah, we don't have to migrate to survive seasons. Yeah, maybe depending on the climate and also the land and everything, I guess you can just do fine without having to migrate. But I don't know how people lived a long time ago though there. They probably had to move, as there wouldn't be enough food if you stick around one place for too long, especially in that type of environment. But I'm just guessing at this point. Nico said, maple syrup is the only reason I'm sad I broke up with my ex. Her parents lived pretty remote and made their own maple syrup, and one of the best things in the world. Yes, it's really good. One of the best things in the world after honey. And Hungarian GigaChat says, get the Jesus ropes. I could do it, but it's in the other room. It'll take some time. As the video while Batman appeared was filmed in North Mongolia. It wasn't filmed much in the North Mongolia. It was filmed like 30 kilometers away from the city center, I guess. It was shot at my friend's cottage. And usually, like, at least in this area, in most of the Mongolian territory, usually the forests, the trees, they grow on the mountains compared to other places where trees grow on the flatland. I think it's because the mountains here, they contain more water, and it's easier for the mountain to have more water compared to the flatlands, at least in this area. That's why there are loads of trees, and you can see me climbing up the mountain there. And Derek Blower says, no offense to maple syrup lovers, but honey is better in taste and health. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, their consistency and the sweetness, and the flavor, the taste, they're, I wouldn't say same, but kind of, maple syrup does remind me of honey, and it's really nice. Just like to eat it and drink water or tea and eat it. I could do it all day. I don't know if it's healthy to do that, but I'm ready. Also, is it just me or you're just a bit too quiet? Am I quiet? Wait, maybe I can do it like this. Okay, so I'll put the microphone closer to my mouth, and I'm breathing their music non-stop. I drink tea and honey all day long. Yes, that's the way, man. Wyoming, U.S. state, Georgian climate is pretty close to Mongolian climate. Trees in the mountains, dry in the flats, high elevation, cold winters. That's nice. Dry air. That's the best, I think, when it comes to winters, because if the winter if the winter comes and it's cold and it's humid, then it makes it less bearable, I think, unless there were many bears. Anyways, I think Death by Maple Syrup is worth it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a fulfilled life, well fulfilled life. But the album, The Who is Fire. That album, The Who is Fire. I still haven't listened to that album so far. Hungarian GigaChat says, make a cooking video where you cook langos. So I prepare the dough, add some salt, fry it, and that's langos, right? We call it borcak or bov, which could also mean penis. I think it's because the way how we make that thing, that fried dough, maybe some people, it reminded penis to some people, who knows. I don't know. But anyways, so some people started using the name of this food to say penis, but in an informal language. So yeah, langos. Like, I don't know if it'll work with Hungarian. Like, if I approach a Hungarian girl and say, "Hey, girl, would you like to eat my langos?" I don't know. Uh, Maybe they'll get it. Who knows? Nobody important says, you can't spell humanity without the who, not. Yes, yes. It's an interesting thing. It could be a coincidence. It could be a coincidence. Just that two different languages have the same word for human. In Mongolian, the word for human, or at least the literature form of human, is humung. I could write it down. Human, humun in literature. There's the normal word is hung, which is human, but no normal. And it is said that the Han Empire were there, was called the Han because the idea was that as long as you're human, you can be part of us, which was the main reason why it got so big, because it wasn't invading others as much. It was mostly others joining the empire because they were accepted as who they were, and they also got the access for economical and military advantages and so on, privileges, and that's why it expanded so fast. And it was more like, in terms of governance, it was similar to that of European Union today, where you have different clans, different people, all coming together to create one big united type of country. And I believe, I could be wrong, but the modern day of Hungarians, they call themselves Magyar, and Magyars were probably one of those people who lived in the empire. And then when they moved to the west after the fall of the empire, all the people started calling them Huns, because Huns were famous at the time, and then if they see someone similar to Huns, they would say, "Hey, that's Hun." But and that's why all the neighbors of Hungary would call them Hungary, but only Hungary themselves would call themselves Magyar. That is my theory. I haven't confirmed it from official sources yet, but that would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. Kwanishovich says Dosho. What's Dosho? Hachapura, you maybe this is why we're called Hungarians. Also, yeah. And have you heard the story of Hunor and Magor? Is that the legend of two princes riding on a horse chasing after a golden deer? Nico says Magyar, yeah. Or Chokokuna Harta. Oi Chukokuna Harta. Yeah, it's interesting because I've read diary of an Hungarian engineer who lived around 100 years ago. He got involved. He was working in Russian Empire at the time, and during the revolution, he was sent to jail in Siberia, and he had to escape from there. And then he escaped to Mongolia to avoid all those persecutions and war, revolution and stuff. And from his diary, I've read that he found an old artifact, or maybe some kind of thing, where it described of two horsemen chasing after golden reindeer. But that artifact was found within a tomb from almost 2,000 years ago, like from a Mongolian soil. So I'm guessing that this legend existed well, like 2,000 years ago within this empire, and maybe Hungarians kept this legend up until today. It is possible. I don't have any proofs to, show you all about this thing, but this is what I've read. And also he found many common words between Mongolian, Turkic, and Hungarian, and found interesting relations among them, which would later, I don't know how to say, give more evidence to what I've said previously about the history and so on. But nothing confirmed yet, because Hungarians they're very mysterious people. I still don't know where they come from and so on, and what happened in the history. Everything is very bleak. It's kind of dark and misty, and I would like to learn more. Okay, and Timothy Boys 8 says hello, man. Hungarian Giga says, can you pronounce Yes, I just pronounced it. Just joking. It seems my messages are delaying. I would say most of the messages are delaying. Like if you're watching the video and you're also keeping up with the messages in the live chat box, you'll see that there's delay. About 5 seconds of delay, maybe. Hungarian says, yeah, it's delayed a lot. Derek Blower says, I wish to know how to say blood for the blood god in Mongolian, just for Warhammer purposes. I'm thinking of a sentence, like direct sentence, word for word sentence, but it sounds so weird. I watched your videos on Mongolian throat singing tips. Very cool. My only problem is that I don't get any privacy to practice law, as my family is not familiar with the style. Yes, I used to practice it outside during on a busy street. It wasn't a joke. It's true. It was back in Moscow. There used to be highways, lots of car traffic going by, and it makes so much noise. And if there aren't many people around me, then I'll be walking past the cars and then doing or something or something like that. And that's how I managed to practice throat singing. Well, not at home, mostly outside, where people can hear me. Uh, Nobody important says, and skulls for his throne. Amaya said, did you see my message about Mongolian? I have no idea which message. Hungarian Gigachat says, do you believe in Allah, the merciful, the entirely merciful? I don't think so. No, not much. Well, maybe there is Allah, but I haven't seen or felt anything coming from him. At least maybe my perception of him might have come from somewhere else, but I don't know. You look like a typical Kazakh. Kunish Kuznavich. Hey, thank you. But, I have a very bad thing to say. No offense, but 30% of Kazakh genetics come from Mongols. At least on average. And I have friends who confirmed that information. I have Kazakh friends who confirmed that information from themselves, like personal confirmation. No offense, but yes, that's why maybe we look alike. I have Kyrgyz friends as well who look like one of us. For example, if they were to walk next to me, people would see them as Mongols, or vice versa. If I walk with them in their respective countries, people would think that I'm Kyrgyz or Kazakh. Yeah. Derek Blow, Hungarian chat. Oh, well, how giga can you be? Nobody important. I practice it from time to time too, but at the moment I sound like a horse camel being strangled. That's a relatable feeling I also got when I first started out. They sounded different from what I have now. Now, like after practicing it for some time, it got matured, so it sounds more deep and full, kind of. Derek Blower, 85 kg. Myself, Hachipuri, Czech General. You mean Discord? Oh yeah, we have Discord channel, by the way. If you're interested, you can join the Discord. But our Discord channel is a bit crazy. Lots of crazy jokes are there. If you don't mind those kind of things, yeah, it's a nice place to be. But other than that, yeah, it's a bit crazy. Derek Blower said, made me laugh how you dodged the translation like it was a curse to say. It's just that it sounds weird in Mongolian when you translate it word by word. Like, tosni бурхны төлөө цус. It's like, maybe there could be a better way of saying it. Like, paraphrase it in Mongolian to make it sound a bit more Mongolian, because when I translate it directly, it sounds awkward. Timothy Boyce says, makes sense. I'll give that a try. Thanks. I'm off for dinner. Have a great Wednesday, bro. Oh, thank you, man. Have a great Wednesday. Hungarian Gigachat says, do you have a girlfriend? No, I don't have a girlfriend. Would be nice if I had a girlfriend. Roman says, а ты понимаешь русский? Да, я понимаю русский, да. Я учился там, в Москве, 5 лет. Куниш says, по-любому. Yes. I also like Lupivena, that cookies. I forgot how it's Jubilena. Oh, sorry. Like I remember that's Lupinena. My bad. My messages here are so delaying. I sent them to Discord. Nico made a small mistake in my Siam painting. Will be done in another day or so, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you for painting Siam. It's not something that people would usually paint outside Mongolia. But yeah, thank you. It's very nice stuff. Yeah, lots of philosophies engraved in it. Let me check Discord channel. So, can you tell us something from Mongolian? Some words, some phrase. I just want to know how we can understand this. How to say penis or that food in Mongolian. Can you write? Okay, sex is called Bof, by the way. I really like Bof. I eat Bof. I should go back to study. Okay, let's try. I'll try to say something in Mongolian. Oh, or I could try to read from this book, and I'll read it slowly, just so that it'll be interesting for you to hear it. Okay. Нөгөө дээгүр зүрх сэтгэлээ хэдий сайн мэдэрдэг хүмүүн зүс царайгаач төдий сайн анхаарч байх ёстой. Өөрийгөө хөндөлж хайрлаж чадаагүй хүмүүн өөрөө л их хайрлаж чаддаггүй. Иймс бусдыг хүндэтгэхийн тулд өөрийгөө хүндэтгэж хувцлалт. Зүс царайгаа анхаарахтаа халамж тавьж байх ёстой. Мөн бусдад бас халамжийг хүртээ. Өөрөө чаддаг болж байж бусдад ярих туршлага суудаг. Бүх ярианы үндэс өөрийн чинь мэдрэмж, чадамж дээр үндэслэх тул би энэ хүмүүн шиг байхын тулд юуг анхаарах вэ гэж сонсдог чихийг умартаж болохгүй. Иймээс ярих утга агуулгатай зохицуулж хувцаслаж байх хэрэгтэй. Ярианд хувцаслалт бол өнгө нэмэхтэй л адилхан зүйл. Энэ нэг бодлоор чиний биеийн илэрхийлэл, үзэл бодлын төрх юм. Deep philosophy. Like what I've read was deep philosophy. And not just any abstract philosophy, it was practical philosophy. Just a random paragraph. Like I've read 2 paragraphs and like, oh my god, this book is like, it's my next Bible. I'm not joking. Awesome stuff. Okay. Maya says, yes, read, yes. What happens if chat stops in revolution? Do you just sign off? First, I would notify that there is revolution happening. And hopefully try to make an evidence before something goes wrong so that people will have more understanding about what's happening. Hopefully the internet won't be cut off. Yeah. Who's the author of the book? In a way, you can call him Nigude Otkin. Okay. Хонхтон овгийн цагаан ова. Нигудсын цагаан ова. That would be his name. It's up to you to believe or not. He's a person who lived 900 years ago. Before, like, someone who lived right before Genghis Khan became, king and so on. So this guy, he was a teacher, leader of 1,000 families, who lived very close to the border. And since he was a teacher, he used to teach children and teenagers. He came up with this kind of, let's say, old scroll, which would tell people how to speak, at least the basics of speaking. And this thing is filled with philosophy. I wish you could read it all to appreciate the intellectual achievements. But yes, it's only in Mongolian at the moment. But the Temujin only Mongolian. There is a high chance, yes. At that point, maybe he knew how to speak Khitan. So it was a language in the past, a language of nomadic people of the Central Asia, but they got assimilated into many different countries, and they no longer exist today. Maybe they're descendants, but they no longer identify as Khitans, and they don't have the language today, and the culture is died mostly. So maybe he used to speak Khitan. Yeah, this language was close to Jushchit, the language of the Golden Country, the Manchurians, I think. And Mongolian has borrowed words from Khitan. And who knows, maybe Turkic languages have some words from Khitan as well, because at some point they were the big guys. Can you put the title in the chat, please, so that I can copy and see if it's available anywhere I can order? No. You can't. Yeah, because this book cannot be bought online, and this book can only be bought in one small bookstore in Mongolia. And I went there to buy it today. And that store is, I don't know, in terms of meters per square, I would say maximum 10 meters per square. That room, the place where they sell it. So you can find it. The only way you can get some stuff from it is probably through me. Maybe through someone else, but we'll have to read, translate, or maybe read, make conclusions, translate it to English, and then deliver it to you all. But that's the only way you can get it, which sucks, because I wish it was accessible for many others. What social media are the most people in Mongolia? I really want to practice the language, but I have no one to do it with. Most of the people use Facebook here. I would say almost everyone have Facebook, but the older generations are more active on it, whereas the youngsters, they are more active on Instagram, as far as I have heard. Hungarian gigs. Did you know that the longest Hungarian word can get extended more for as long as I want to try to get into this a couple of times in the middle of it? I didn't know that. Well, structure-wise, Mongolian and Hungarian have so many similarities. We do like to add lots of suffixes. For example, it comes from the word tsakh. Tsakh is to make spark, and then you can make which sounds quite long, or which when you see it, it's even longer. But I don't know if we have any suffix that we can put in between for infinite amount. And there are a few suffixes that can be put there, but I don't know for how long though. I mean, I'd like to go to Mongolia so I can just add to the list of reasons. I would say, Gigsha, do you think you'll ever get Inner Mongolia back from China? I would love to get Inner Mongolia back from China, and to be honest, I would like to get Buryatia back from Russia. if it's possible though. It is possible, like there's no such thing as impossible thing, but I just have to get the power. Um, or it would be better if Buryatia become independent state, the Inner Mongolia become independent state. This way we'll have 3 Mongolian states, which would work together, and that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. So, by the way, for everyone who's interested in learning Mongolian, one of the things which would make you want to learn it might be this book. Because if you learn the language, you'll have full access to all the contents inside this book, the philosophy, the practices, and so on, and the aesthetics of the language. They're all in this book. Mwah. I'm gonna read this stuff tonight. I just got it today. I haven't got the chance to read it up until now. I really want to get this book. Yes, I've been marketing this book, even though I don't get any profit from this. It's just coming from from my heart purely. That's okay. So, very interesting thing that I couldn't talk about this book. I guess with the book only available to us through you, here I am, ready to learn. Yay, yay. Okay. So anyways, I don't know if it means anything to you all, but we do have these shamanic practices where we can get our bodies be possessed by ancestral spirit, and the spirit of the author here wrote this, kind of told his practitioner, and his practitioners wrote this. It's up to you to believe in it or not, but we do have this awesome culture that the world mostly doesn't know about. At least they don't know how it is feasible, but we do it for at least 2,000 years. Anyways, what I wanted to say was that the author, he mentioned a few things. He said that nowadays people believe that by changing something in the political system, things will be great. And he says that no, that's not the case. Things don't become great when you change the structure into proper thing within the government or anything else. The change comes from understanding each other, they say. In order to understand each other properly, you have to speak properly without making mistakes. Because if you give wrong ideas to the others and the others misinterpret or misunderstand you, usually that's when problems begin. Like the main source of problems come from misspeaking. Because when you say the wrong thing, they give the wrong result. So the collaboration between 2 and more people are highly dependent on the way they express themselves. So if you express yourself properly, then there won't be any problems at all. You'll just fix the problems right away just by saying things. But by saying wrong things, you make many more problems ahead. And when you speak properly, then you start having successes, and success is followed by development. So if you really want development in your country, you have to start with yourself, with your thoughts. First with your thoughts, when you bring order to your thoughts, then your words become more precise. When your words become more precise, your deeds will be up to the point. And if your deeds are up to the point, you'll have more success, and more success means you'll reach your goal. And as I said, it teaches the basic fundamental knowledge which every teenager should learn from the age of 13 to 21. They're here. Alex Shaman totally Hungarian sus. Nobody important says, I'd love to connect with the spirits of my less German ancestors. And who are those supposed to be? Mongol? I just took it. I know. And Hungarian Gigachat says, Hachapur, what's your opinion on Hungarian inflation? Because now €1 is around 430 forint. You need to pump up those langosh. One langosh should equal 1 forint. And this way, the currency of Hungarian, like the Hungarian currency, will be able to stop the inflation from going all the way up, because langosh is always necessary in the Hungarian community, because wherever you go you buy langosh, and the price of one langosh wouldn't go up and down drastically. It'll go up and down, but everyone needs it, so you have to tie your currency to langosh. So you're saying that langosh should be the currency of Hungary? Yes, kinda. At least the currency should be tied to langosh, and this way you'll have a very stable currency. It will not be prone to inflation, because what happens is inflation happens whenever you don't have anything directly tied to certain items. So when you don't have any minimum price point, then the value of your currency can go down infinitely. But by having something to tie it here, like one langosh to one currency, it can go down, but not infinitely, because langosh always has its own value. And it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Yeah, that at least that's the economical system we had back in Mongolian Empire, almost before that as well. One big currency used to equal one sheep. So the price, the value of one sheep wouldn't go up and down that drastically. So at least for the Mongolian country, that was a good estimation. And you can always think, I can get one house for the price of 8 or 5 sheep. I know, maybe 10 sheep. And it was very easy for people to calculate. Later on, during the Yuan dynasty, when the empire expanded and the population were like 100 million people or something, even more, then they experimented with so many other items, because not everyone used to have sheep. So they experimented with paper and so on, and at the end they decided alcohol is the best item, because you can store it, you can transport it, and it'll always have the same value throughout the time. Nobody important says, I hope I have some Mongolian blood in my veins. That would be nice. If not, then the knowledge would suffice. Okay, so you're saying that langosh should be the currency of Hungary. Yeah. Чинби сэтгэлийн оюун гороо уусан нэгтгэе. Би сэтгэл оюун гороо уусан нэгтгэе. Chenbi, yeah. Chenbi says, let's dissolve our body, mind, and soul and make them one. That is the way to go. Because if you want to get stuff done, you have to put your whole existence in one direction. not the band though. So Willie Brown says, I could get behind the sheep index economy. Yeah. It's very easy to understand compared to abstract, let's say, American currency today, which is not backed by anything. It is backed by trust for the economy, but it's not backed up by something tangible. Often I notice that some Mongols write in Latin script. Are they mostly Mongols from Inner Mongolia? No. It's mostly from the Mongolia. It's because when we switched from the plan economy to market economy, what happened was that we didn't have enough resource to have cell phones or keyboards that have Mongolian Cyrillic alphabet on them. Most of those devices came from international market where they had only Latin letters. So we had to learn how to use Latin letters, and because those devices had limited amount of letters that we can write within one SMS, then people started to compress those words into mostly consonants, and this way we managed to write so much with some less letters, and we write like that today as well because it's very convenient. Making shortcuts all the time. Nobody important says. Obe says, I live in a suburb in Sweden where there's quite a few Mongolian immigrants, enough to hear the language every few days. Did you notice immigration from Mongolia, and what do you think of it? Yes, at some point I did what you call consider going to Sweden to live there. And then I was like, it's too much of a hassle. Nah. And also I wanted to build life, kind of build something tangible. And it would mean that if I go to Sweden, I have to start everything all over again. So instead, I just went back to Mongolia and trying to make business here. But yes, it makes sense for people to immigrate from Mongolia to somewhere else because the salary isn't as high as we would like it to be. For example, like an average salary in Mongolia maybe ranges around $300-400 a month. The minimum is around $250. And because of the inflation, the prices of goods and services are going up through the roof, but the salary remains almost the same. And so who would want to work for 1 month and get $300, like give almost all of the money for the rent and get nothing, like live on the pennies? So yeah, it makes sense for people to immigrate. But I've learned, I studied abroad for 10 years, and I think it's about time I kind of give the fruit of my education back to the country, I guess. So that's why I'm here. Obe, not in racism way, but like economical fight way. Yeah, I understand. I understand why they would go there. And but yes, okay. I was about to say something. It's better for me to stop. New Zealand would be full of millionaires if sheep were currency. I think population of sheep in Mongolia should be at least 20 or 30 million, whereas our population, population of the people, is a little bit over 3 million. So the population of sheep outnumbers us at least 5-6 times. Sheep should be currency. Sheep should be currency if your economy is highly tied with currency. Then people will be able to calculate easily since they have lots of sheep. Which makes it really, really challenging to add social media to language learning. When I try to speak Mongolian, I sound like a metalhead, and when I try to write it, I sound like a teen meme lord. You have to start from somewhere, right? And one of the cool thing about us is that we're not judgmental towards foreigners trying to learn Mongolian. On the contrary, we are very appreciative when someone takes their time to learn this language. We really appreciate it a lot because, for example, when French people, like I'm now shitting on the French, sorry for the French people, but it's kind of true. They expect people to learn French properly. So if others make mistakes and they don't understand, they don't want to understand, sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Whereas if someone learns Mongolian and mispronounces their words, we would put so much effort to understand it because we appreciate the effort. Maybe not all the time, but I expect this type of feeling from most of us. So don't be afraid to communicate with us. Yeah, we'll be happy. We'll always be happy. I think New Zealand in 70 million sheep for 5 million people or something similar. That's quite a lot of sheep. That's quite a lot of sheep for small territory, I would say. J-Man says, where's Froggy? Froggy is... well, the costume is in the other room, but the actual person, he's somewhere else. Doing some other stuff. He's not here today. And Nico said, never mind, that was in the golden day. Now it's way less. Hey, well, the brand, I found it in general true. Drinking, oh, no, he's not drinking. He's just chilling. And maybe he's also in the live chat as well, but maybe he's watching something else. I don't know. But he was here. Some stuff happened, so he had to be somewhere else for today. And maybe next week we'll do the thing again together. Some other stuff. But at least for today, the main reason why I am doing this thing is that I want to get people's opinions on what is the best form of learning language, what is the most efficient and entertaining, fun, I don't know, productive, effective, whatever you say, which type of way majority people, of the people here at least in this community would want. And maybe I'll deliver that wish, because if we find a problem, right, I can hopefully give the solution. Who knows? So yeah, that's why. Watch hentai and learn Japanese. Easy. Yes. あれは変態を見てほしいんです。今ここに。だけど、これはいいじゃないです。たくさん人見てるんだ、俺は。だから、あれは今変態は見てないの。やめてください。Yeah. PogChamp, Japanese expert. Thank you. I learned it from hentai. Batman, can you do Yamete Kudasai? No, that's something I get from others, not I say it to others. Okay, there's a difference. I'm not sure. I want to know what has just been said. Can you do Anichan? No, man. I I I don't do that shit. It's others who do that. I wish though. Batman, can you say oh no, man? That's cringe. That's cringe. Instead, I could try to show you my drumming prowess of how I can keep up the rhythm. Uwu, please. Oh, come on. Oh, Uwu is stupid. What do you do outside of your house that you're, uh, yeah, watching hentais? But I'm trying to stop. Chat, we need to say him to say Uwu. Oh my god. Okay, I'll just say it, but it's not gonna be the way how you want. It's like Uwu. That's the best I can offer. Peer pressure led, yeah. No, don't. Oh, um, the word ovo, it kind of reminds me of mahangovo. Mahawa, uh, it's like ovo means how to say something that you pile up, like kind of like a pile. You could say that. It could mean other things, but ovo it's a pile, and mahang ovo is meat pile. And we used to jump on each other, like lay down on others. Like when someone's laying down on the ground, we jump on that person, and then scream "Mahawa," and then everyone else would start jumping on top, and then it becomes a meat pile, and someone like below suffers most. That's a very nice game we used to play when we were young. Do you do any cool Mongolian stuff? Is what I'm really asking. Yes, that's what we used to do. Oh, meat pile. It's really Mongolian stuff. We call that dog pile. Oh, nice. Mahawa. I need to keep that in mind. What do you do with your mates outside for fun? Any activity or building? Oh. That's a good question. So now that I'm an adult, and living in a city, I'm just doing almost what everyone else does. I walk around, hang out with friends. Recently I did karaoke. And sometimes, yeah, we do jam. Like we have lots of instruments here. We bring our friends here and we play music. My friends drink. I don't drink personally. When I was young, I used to wrestle a lot with my friends and cousins. Yeah, because Mongolians, we love wrestling and play lots of games together, children's games and so on. Video games, we used to play a lot. Dota, CS, and so on. Building house with mud and stick. Oh yeah, we used to play with sands, yes. Making sand balls and then throwing, or maybe like colliding them against each other. In German we call them Haufen. Okay, let's stop talking about porn. I would like to see your new videos being videos made all in Mongolian, maybe with subtitles. Here's a language lesson in Mongolian with subtitles. What matters? And additional reference scenes. Have you done did session with Raccoon City policeman. D&D session. Oh yes, I've done D&D session with Agent A Leon, Agent as Leon. In the sense that we do same things. The city life is the same everywhere you go. I wish one day I'll live with my family in the forest Goonies. I would love to sing Mongolian karaoke. Yeah, things like Hirechi Natro Harchim Bol Miniset Baesta, stuff like that. Алтан хавчараар хавчсан сэрч Айсын салах надан тоглоно. Yeah. That would be Mongolian karaoke. We don't, well, at least my friends, we don't sing Mongolian songs that much. But it would be nice to sing Mongolian songs, but they mostly sing foreign stuff. Chenbi says, El Mao. Sing some more, please. Like, if I hear a song, I would know. I can sing along. But now I'm like, no, the songs don't come to my mind. Эмээ бисагаар өсөдө бодож чанж шитэн дээр асгаа ширэн задан болж. Everyone knows that song. Where's the acoustic? The acoustic guitar is there. Never mind. There's a nice song which I like to listen. Таалагдсан түүний гой sex. Таалагдсан түүний бүх юм. Means I liked it. Her nice sex. I liked it. Her everything. So a song by Nisfanis, a Mongolian grunge rock band. Jim, there are a lot of there are a lot of Russians here in Europe. Russians and Buryats, maybe Tuvans and some other Siberian ethnic people. They've immigrated to Mongolia, and now maybe I'm overestimating. I don't know. Like out of every 10 people outside, almost maybe out of every 10, 15 people, one would be speaking Russian. So, like, when I hear Russian conversation, I look around, I take a look back like this, and then I would see someone like with my type of appearance would be speaking Russian fluently, and then I'm like, yeah, Buryats or maybe Tuvans. And who knows, maybe comics, but comic is a little bit too far away. But probably there are. And are there many immigrants to Mongolia? Does the state help you, or do you figure out things on your own? I believe there should be state services and private organizations also offering help to the people. I have no idea in which way, financial or just social ways. I have no idea, but there are quite a lot of them. And I shouldn't be saying this, that I'm glad that the war is happening. I can't say that, but what I can say is I'm glad that there are lots of immigrants in Mongolia, because tourism, touristic season ends by September, so our economy kind of, the economy that depends on tourism kind of goes down quite drastically after September. But thanks to the immigrants, I think a lot of shops, a lot of tourist companies, hotels and so on, they're getting good money. So yeah, like Russian citizens are bringing their money into our economy, and which is a good thing. Red Cross in Mongolia helps them, I think. Are you gonna visit the new museum of logging there? Maybe. Maybe yes. Yesterday I was walking right next to it. Actually, I was walking, and then they were doing the opening ceremony, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." Uh, is it possible to go to Russia from Mongolia now? By the way, I hope so. Well, if you're a girl, it shouldn't be a problem. But if you're a man, maybe you'll have to go through a lot of screenings and lots of questions from the police, the border officers, and so on. I know that Russians can. I know that, yeah. Well, at least you have 30 days of free visa in Mongolia, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. But yeah, the border, that's a problematic part, I think. By the way, J-Man and Chen B, I don't know if you were there when I was reading paragraphs from here, but this book is it's called Ugut Khohan. Very nice stuff. I would highly suggest you to get it somehow. Uh, it's good for you know, speaking and so on. Really good stuff. No. Jamin says no, it's 1 year, but no, I don't think it's 1 year. Like, you're talking about the visa, right? Last time I checked it, I think it was 30 days. Do you know about Warhammer 40k? There's an order of Superman whose image is inspired by the Mongols. It's called the White Scars. I have no idea, but that's super cool. I'm glad we can be image that inspires superheroes. That's cool. Well, it's not superheroes, but Dothraki from Game of Thrones. I think they were inspired by Mongols up to some point, not fully, but up to some point. I have to blow my nose. Sorry. Okay. As I know, we don't even need visa for Mongolia. Yeah, unless you're staying here for a long time. That is. Yeah. Their leader is now fighting dark space elf in warp space. Nice, nice. I have no idea about this series though. Cool stuff. As far as I got the impression of it. GigaChat says, Hachipuri, what's your opinion on banana? Banana is nice. It's rich in potassium, which I heard to be a very vital mineral in the body, and which helps you to regulate all the thing going inside. So if you have a healthy amount of potassium, I guess you'll have healthy, let's say, activity with your hormones and all the stuff. Maybe you'll sleep well, who knows. So I think banana is good. Banana shape is very nice. Yes. It reminds me of my little friend. Kazakhstan superior potassium. Maybe. Who knows? Borat. What else? Yeah, but from what I've talked to a few Russians here, in the ones who immigrated recently. The Russians, they're not planning to stay in Mongolia for a long time. They are planning to travel to Turkey, to Vietnam, to countries where they don't need visa. But I think Buryats, they're mostly considering settling down here, at least for the time being, until the situation gets better. So yeah, that's one of the differences which I've noticed. But in any case, I'm very happy that they're here. I don't know what kind of problems there will be on the long term. You know, having sudden surge in population might bring some disbalance here and there, but as far as I can see at the moment, we're getting only good stuff, benefits from the current situation. You make me mod on your server. No, don't. Do you agree with the fact that Transylvania is Hungary and Romania doesn't exist? No, why not, bruh? Yeah. Well, I think Hungary should try to take back the land as it was agreed. But that's gonna make more problems. But at least people should follow what they promised. That's what I believe. And so, what else about language thing? Is there anything to ask about Mongolian language, or maybe a Mongolian lifestyle? Maybe history. Mongolian law says there can't be a foreign population more than 1% of the Mongolian total population. That's cool. Having law is one thing, and being able to execute the law is another thing. So I wonder if the situation goes south, let's say, I wonder how our government will follow that law, implement the policy, and all those stuff. Interesting, though. I would like to observe if such thing happens. About Mongolian traditions, everything can be interesting. Difference between Inner Mongolian and Half Mongolian dialects. Oh, so Inner Mongolian. That's a broad topic because in Inner Mongolia there are many different ethnical, like Mongolic people out there who have different dialects. Like in the modern day of Mongolia, let's say, there aren't that many dialects. There's one main Halkh dialect, and in the west they have some few dialects. And then we also have Buryat as well. But in the south, oh my god, there should be at least 7 or 8 more dialects. But in general, the southern dialects, not all of them, but some of them, they switched, or maybe we switched, I don't know, maybe they switched, or it's just they were switched from the beginning. The sound j, like the word ts, the sound ts that we say today, in the south it's usually ch, or z becomes j in their dialect. For example, Tsaran, the word Tsaran, which is white, in the south, some people would pronounce it as Charan. Also, the word za, which is yes, they say ja. So sometimes when I'm speaking with my mom, I say ja, 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 for a fun purpose. But it doesn't mean I'm being offensive to them. I'm just trying to add some different styles to my conversation. Сайн байна уу? Би Орос төрсэн буратхан би өөр монгол хэлээ сонсоход ойлгоос илүү ойлгодог. Saim says, hello, I'm, I'm Burat. I was born in Russia, and when I hear the Southern Mongolian, I understand it better than the Khalkh dialect. Hungarian says, Alexander Kane says, I heard Mongolia is changing writing system. They've been trying to change it for the past 30 years now. I hope they'll succeed. But it brings along certain problems that if they implement this policy fully in the government, then a lot of the people won't be able to efficiently do their work because they are not fluent in the old script. It'll take quite some time for them to be as fluent with the current Cyrillic. So if they have to do it, they have to do it step by step and not fully do like 180 degrees of change. It has to be like small degrees of change. And at this point, it is best to have balance between these two scripts. Or maybe even it's better to have a system which can convert the old script to Cyrillic and back and forth whenever it's necessary. That way it'll save so much time and hassle, and it'll be more efficient. And also the education system has to start putting more materials in old script so that it'll become what you call necessary to learn it, because at the moment there is not much necessity. So I don't know, it can be done. It's just that it's changing with the tortoise pace. G-Man says middle-aged Mongolian doesn't have t and t. T are written as j and ch in the script. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because there are regional differences, but in the consonants, let's say, but the writing system would have only one. So you see one letter and then you pronounce it differently depending on the region. And that is one of the main functions of the old script, because it brings people together. Like, you may speak differently, but when you read the script, you see only one meaning. And yeah, that's how it used to unite these different dialects, kinda. It might sound crazy, but what do you think about creating a new writing system that is exclusively suited for Mongolian? For example, Hangul and Korean. Koreans mostly used Hanja till the Korean War. Yeah, how to say? Mongolian script is kinda adopted and developed, changed, adapted for the Mongolian language. And Hanja is not a completely new writing system. It's based on the previous writing system, but it just made it more efficient, and it's highly suitable for the Korean language. The writing system beforehand was the Khitan script, which had very similar structure system, but a bit more complex compared to Hangul. But Hangul, yeah, it's very simple, that anyone can learn in 30 minutes or something like that, which is a great accomplishment for them, I think. Chanbi, it is extremely suited to their language and easy to learn. To be honest, I don't like to really Russian influence in the Mongolian language. Yeah, there has been impacts on the language after changing the writing system. That's true. But what can be done now? It's already in the past. We have to stick with it. But it would be nice to uh, bring necessity to the Mongolian script a bit more than now. That way, people have more incentive to learn this cultural thing, because in the old script you would be able to find more of the traditional mentality, the root of the words, because some words that we pronounce differently today have the same root in the old script. So once we find the root, we can understand, okay, this is the general meaning, and that's why it goes to all these different words. And that's quite important to understand why we say things in a certain way. For example, the word, the sound he. One of my linguist friend who studied Mongolian language in Mongolia, like a Mongolian girl, she explained me the sound or the word he, which exists in the word for border, hil, and in many other words, and especially in hitoka, which is hotak. Today we pronounce it as hotak, which is knife, but in the old language it was hitoka, and he would usually mean separating two things. So border is a place where you have two lands or two, let's say, countries, and hitoka is a thing that makes things into two. And it's kind of a traditional mentality that we've kind of lost by switching to Cyrillic. And yeah, I think there are more things that we can learn, more examples, but at the moment I don't know many examples like this. Honestly, Cyrillic is a Bulgarian alphabet, not Russian technically. Mongolia tried Latin and alphabet in the late 1910s, and that didn't fit the language. The Cyrillic is a better fit for the Mongolian language. Computer and software developers also need to provide the technological support that currently doesn't exist. Yes, computer and software developers. That's one of the problems that we face today. Why? It's because most of the systems, most of the computer stuff, they're highly adjusted for Latin or Cyrillic type of alphabet, where you have right from left to right with each letters. But Mongolian traditional script is written from up to down, and they're all connected. The letters are connected to each other. So it's a bit of a challenge to adapt it to modern websites and programs, applications. It is being done, but I think there isn't enough budget being provided for these projects to flourish. About foreigners, when I lived in Mongolia, I was a child, and there was a whole region of Russian speakers in Ulaanbaatar. It seems to be called Zhukov district, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I think so. There, as far as I know, like very close from here, like I'm living in the 13th district, on the way to a place called Oftser. There is a Russian school, like Russian 14, and that area used to be inhabited mostly by Russians at the time. So yeah, I don't know. Well, most of them went back after the change in the 90s. There were many Russians working in the city, then including my mother. Yeah, there have been interesting changes when Russians left. Very interesting stuff, good and bad. Giga Chat says Allah Allah Allah. I think teachers have good wage. Had or have, because now they don't. Maybe they had good wage. Jim and Osun, Os, Jisun, Sos, blood, Musun, Mus, ice, all have the root Sun, which means water. Mus, okay, osmostas. Interesting. On. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I know that the word for fish, which is zachs today. In the old way, I think it was zachson. I don't know if it means anything, but it sounds quite similar if I put it there. Like chison, moson, oson, zachson. Who knows? If all Mongolian people write in Mongol Bichir, despite difference of all dialects, we would understand each other's text. Yeah, that's the main function. Yeah. I think the main function of the Mongol Bichir, that why we adopted it and why we kind of adapted it. Yeah. Can you read this Allah? I think that's Allah. I think, or maybe it's I could be wrong though. Inner Mongolians adopted the traditional writing better for computer systems. They have metro system with 3 writings: English, Mandarin, and Mongol script. Yeah. They've done a lot because when we were we got separated from them, and then we were closer to Russians, and then they were closer to China. We ended up adopting Cyrillic. So we started developing more stuff using Cyrillic, whereas they were far away from Russian influence, so they didn't adopt Cyrillic. So they had only Mongolian script, and they refused to switch to Hanzi or Chinese characters. So I guess it makes sense that they developed more software stuff for their own writing system or our writing system. Yeah. Can you say yes, queen, without yeah? Good one, Hungarian chat. What do you mean? Rumin had, I suppose, my mother and I have not been to Mongolia for 12 years. Yeah, you should come by sometimes. The Mongols are coming. It's it was within the definition in Urban Dictionary. When you search the definition for Mongols, it gives you like this definition that every Chinese know that Mongols better than Chinese, and some other explanations. And at the end, it gives the example: the Mongols are coming. The Mongols are coming. Do you know how the word Borhang came to Mongolian language? I believe there are 2 words for Borhan. One of them was a name of a certain lord in the history. I forgot which lord, but then the other word Borhang, I think it comes from another language. So I could be wrong though. That's what I remember, because I've heard some people mentioning about this word. Yeah. But Borhang mostly, I think it comes from Buddhistic influence, but I could be wrong. Though. Chetikovsky says, "Sure, bro, I'll have it on my one day on my T-shirt. The Mongols are coming." I think that's a great business idea. For example, when people make YouTubers, when they make merch on their channel, I could probably try to run a business, or make T-shirt or shirt with the text, "The Mongols are coming. The Mongols are coming." Yeah, it's a good business idea actually. Maybe I'll try it out, but I have to find a credible company that would do their work product well, And if I do it, I'll let y'all know. Maybe you'll be interested in it. No, I heard this person from Chamabaksh. The origin of Burhan is from Buddha. In the Middle Age, Mongolian writing in Mongol Pichik, you could not write Buddha. So it was written as Burha, written coming. The company should be Chinese. Yeah. Okay, lovelies. I got to go now. Was nice to talk and chat. I already added myself to your Discord. I can't wait for the first lessons. Yay! Thank you. Yay. So this thing, Chama Baksh. He's a very he's super respected teacher in Mongolia. He's like, when you're talking about Mongol script, he's like the god here, and that's a very interesting explanation. I would want to learn more about this, because it should be possible to write Buddha in Mongolian script. I wonder why they decided to go with Burha instead of Buddha. Interesting. But in any case, if a person comes from Chamabaksh, I cannot really argue much, but I'm more interested now. Yeah. Can you read? I can't read Hebrew, I think. I know Oive, Shalom. He used to come to our house to meet my dad. Yeah, your dad is cool. Your dad is cool. Well, but yeah, we all know that your dad is cool. So he told that story. Like, do people eat hachapuri in Mongolia? No. People don't eat hachapuri. Well, I hope they won't eat me, but but girls can, but not in a way that would butcher me alive. But yes, you know what I mean. Yeah, like this etymology of the word Burhan. It's very interesting. Like, I still don't fully believe in it, but it's coming from a credible source. So I will try to do my own research on this. But thank you, J-Man. And when did you get the taste of hachapuri? I'm George, by the way. I tasted hachapuri in Georgian restaurants in Moscow. I've been to a few. Yeah, Georgian food, they're the bomb. I tried hachapuri, then hinkali. Hinkali is like the gigantic variation of dumpling. For example, dumpling in Mongolia, you'll find it like of this kind of shape, kinda almost. It's not that big, but in Georgian dumpling, it's as big as a fist. And because it has so much meat inside, it gets super soupy. Like, it gets so much soup inside, and then whenever you bite it, like, you really have to suck the soup as fast as you can, because it's gonna flood with soup. Big stuff. Like, I've ate like 2 of it, or maybe 3, but like, I think 2 is enough to fill a belly of a grown-up man, unless you're used to eating hinkali often. In that case, yeah, you might be able to eat 3 or 4, but still, it's gigantic. Hachapuri, it's a bread, but it's not just any bread. It's bread with cheese, but the cheese is specifically Georgian cheese, salted cheese. Very good stuff. It, in a sense, it does remind me of pizza, but it's not pizza. It's And yeah, hachapuri comes in different forms and shapes depending on the region, I've heard. But the one I've ate most was just bread and cheese. There are times when people add eggs on top of it, but I haven't tried that one yet. Um, Also, I like the Georgian harcho, spicy soup. Very nice stuff. It has its own flavor. I've tried a few other things like I can't pronounce them. They were nice. Georgian food is very interesting. It has unique flavor. Most of those flavor come from greens, I think, but I could be wrong. Very nice stuff. Uh, how often do you eat hachapuri? I stopped eating hachapuri after I left Moscow, which sucks. I would like to, eat hachapuri again. Yeah, haven't had it for 4 years now. Shashlik, yeah, shashlik is nice. Barbecue. Овоо эмээ пицца горож нэстэ гай байсан шүү. Баярлалаа өгш. Ядаж пицца гэж хэлээг юм да. Yeah, Georgians eat 12, 30. Come on, no. Well, maybe you eat 12 or 30 in a group, but you can't eat Georgian hinkali, one person, 12 or 20. Nah, that's impossible. I've heard that Georgians drink like 5 to 10 liters of wine in one go. Mostly tamatas, the toast makers. They sit behind the table for like 6-7 hours or something. They make toasts and drink wine, and they try to see who lasts long without peeing. Like 5 to 10 liters of wine. That's quite huge amount. In shamanism, God is Tengri in a sense. In Nestorianism, Christian Mongolia, there is Jesus. And in Buddhism, we don't worship God per se, but deities and the Buddha. So Buddha, Burhan, I guess. That's a plausible explanation, and I do really believe that the word Burhan came with Buddhism. Like, I don't think it existed before the introduction of Buddhism. But yes, Buddhism was first introduced to Mongols. I think the initial wave was in the 9th century, if I'm not mistaken. Then in the 13th century or 14th century, during the Yuan dynasty, there was another wave. And then during the 15th to 16th century, there was the third wave, the strongest one, which was later on promoted by Manchurian government. But up until that point, Buddhism was, was more in its pure form, not much political, but more the true fundamental practices were there. But afterwards it got more into societal, political hierarchy stuff. But yeah, very interesting stuff. When I'm interested in Buddhism, I usually try to go for the fundamental teachings, not the worshipping part. The fundamental teachings are the bomb. They really get me thinking about so much stuff. And I've only studied, learned puny teensy part of it, and still it's Hachapuri is the one with the egg, butter and cheese. Sulkuni. Yeah. Where have you been, Hukshan? Where are you living, by the way? I'm living close to Bukhurgoy, Ulaanbaatar. If you're around here, maybe we can holla at each other someday. Who knows? Yes, Tama does get such an hangover after 3 liters of wine. Yeah. Eating hachapuri in a group, lol. Well, LeBron, I can polish off half-fifth of Irish whiskey in 2 hours without anything more than little dry mouth, but half glass of grape wine gives me a 3-day hangover. Now, during Hunno the Yuan, then 15th century, you think we were exposed to Buddhism 2000 years ago? During the Han Empire? Because I don't remember that. I know that there were Sogdians who were influenced by the Persians, yeah, who were influenced by Buddhism before the Islamic, what you call, expansion. And I think we got in contact with those people, the closest Persian people who were living close to us. Yeah. Yes, but 2000 years ago, it is possible, but that's interesting. I'll check it up. You other Burats here, well, there was Rumen, yeah, he's Burat, yeah. Now Buddhism came in Mongolia in 8th century, which means way after the Huns, yeah, should be, that's what I remember. But I can't deny during the Han Empire as well, because the territory was quite big, who knows. But I remember the first wave was the 8th century. But I have to refresh my memory on this topic. I have to check up more sources. Because I've read about it many years ago. So maybe there are stuff I've missed out. And I have to say, Buddhism really did expand fast around 2000 years ago, because many monks used to travel far and wide to spread the teachings. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ever happened. And Alf Uchkham says, Sameno. Sameno. I said hello, yeah, I'm good, how are you? Are you good? How's life? Are you gonna be in Mongolia in summer 2023? Unless I travel abroad. No, I think I'll be here. I don't have any plans. Usually my plans don't go further than 2 days or something here. If it's a plan after 2 days, it's already too much for me. What do you think about Patrick Bateman from American Psycho? I have no idea. Who's that? Is it Batman? I have no idea. When I come back, yeah, I hope I'll be here when you're back. We can jam and play Mortal Kombat and troll others. Yeah, Buddhism was affected our history and lifestyle, good and bad, but I rather say it was a mistake to boom Buddhism. Yeah. I also have mixed feelings about Buddhism. On one hand, it has great philosophy, but on the other hand, in the hands of wrong people, it can be a great weapon as well to destroy people. So, yeah, it's a powerful tool indeed. When used properly, it has potential to make great things happen. But the Buddhistic state that we have, like Buddhistic religion practice that we have today in Mongolia, I believe it could be better. There are things to fix, I think, but I'm not the best guy to talk about it because I don't have in-depth knowledge on this, so I shouldn't be criticizing it. Монгол хэл сурах гэж байгаа англи залуу бадмаад туслахгүй буруу гэж хэлээрэй. Okay, I understood, but I didn't understand. I recommend you watching American Psycho, Fight Club, Drive, amazing movies, watch them. I know Fight Club, American Psycho, I might know it. Lamanism, it sucks, you know. Well, the lifestyle, maybe. Yeah, but like now we can't really do anything about it. But I hope they will improve in a good way that contributes to the well-being of the society in general. Yeah, that's pretty common across organized religions. Yes, it's very thing. These organized religions has different list of advantages and disadvantages. Yes, it's true. Aaron Townsend, hey, heavy conversation going on here. Chances of finding fluent Mongolian speaker in Inner Mongolia is low unless you visit some rural areas or Mongol centralized places. Most of the fluent speakers are usually middle-aged and above. They also use Chinese words with Mongolian suffix, which is the only problem if you do not basic Chinese. Example, making phone call. Ignoring that problem, there is basically no problem of mutual understanding between outer and inner. But Khorchin dialect is hard for sure. I only understand half what they're saying, Lamao. Yes, I checked the example of Khorchin conversation on YouTube. I had to put my focus on high level just to understand what they were saying, and I managed to understand more than half. But it took some concentration, and I had to listen to it twice or thrice to understand more. Батмаад биний найз захын тэр миний монгол хэл сурах оролдлогыг үнэлдэггүй. Ой, fuck Batma in both ways. Because Ochram says Batma is my girlfriend. Well, first he said no, where is his Batma? Ochram says Samba no. But I'm English guy trying to learn Mongolian. Tell Batma not to help wrong. I guess Batma is my girlfriend. She doesn't support me, or she doesn't approve my attempt of learning the Mongolian language. And I told him fuck Batma in 2 ways. During Bakhat in 16th, 18th century, the Qing era Mongolians could not stop the infighting. So historians explain that Buddhism was the only way to unite the Mongolians spiritually. I believe, yes, there were certain attempts from the lords, from those, those nobles, to adopt Buddhism with the hope to unite people, to bring peace among each other. But I think that attempt was later misused by the Qings. So initially it had very noble intentions, but then it was turned around against the people, I think, in the hands of wrong people. Yo, хачапури my man. 안녕하십니까? Hence the Bogd Khan, not Altora Khan. Yeah, good one. No homo. Yeah, no homo. Because Padma knows that Mongolian language is so hard, most of people just give up to this. So, uh, mm, it depends on what's your native language. If you speak Korean, Japanese, Turkic languages such as Turkish, Kazakh, Uzbek, Kyrgyz, uh, Mongolian isn't that difficult. Yeah, but if you speak a very different language from Mongolian, then it's a challenge. I recently tried looking for work teaching English in Mongolia. While there are many teaching positions available, none were for English teachers. I was very sad. There should be a lot of English language academies, or I don't know, kind of those education centers where they are willing to invite English teachers, native speakers, to Mongolia, and probably their salaries should be high enough for the teachers to live comfortably in Mongolia. And also the accommodations and all the document related procedures should be taken care of mostly by them, because there is a high demand for English native speakers, because uh, Mongolians believe that by sending their children to these education centers, their children will be able to start speaking English well compared to studying from a Mongolian teacher, which is a bit of a faulty thinking up to a certain point. But yeah, it has its advantages and disadvantages. But in any case, you should be able to find them if you have a network here, maybe. I find the basic problem learning language for me is first grammar, second pronunciation. Yeah, Mongolian grammar is a bit difficult with verbs, that's for sure. Pronunciation, it isn't that serious. Like you can mispronounce certain words, but will be able to understand from the context. Yeah, of course, I'm not saying that it's not important. It is important, but you don't have to put so much stress on it at first. Yeah, like people are try to put so much attention to it, the pronunciations. It's not that important. It's not Chinese. Like if you say one word in a different way, it won't change its meaning dramatically. Yeah, well, there are words that sound similar, but we can understand that. So I would say you have to start speaking as much as you can, and don't pay attention to the pronunciations that much in the beginning. The main thing that makes Mongolian hard is lack of people to speak to. I've only met a Mongolian once in England. It's true. Well, there should be quite a lot of Mongols in UK, because yeah, everyone wants to go there and live there somehow. The main thing that makes Mongol Jimin, my man, he knows situation. Buddhist third way was just whole political experience and attempt. Historians say a lot of things. Some of them are even true, but all of them are really subjective and geared toward telling particular story from particular perspective. It's true. It's true. Depending on which side you prefer. But yeah, like even the objective historical books that you find in Mongolia, they'll try to tell it from Mongolian perspective, whereas the same history will be told from Chinese perspective in China. So even though the events are the same, the wordings will be different. My main problem with the learning other languages is lacking vocabulary. Yeah, I would say it's best to start with the fundamental vocabulary that you would use on a daily basis, and then start from there, uh, because that's how you'll start to speak, I think. And the more you use them, the more you'll uh, let them sink in. Yeah. There are other burets from Ulan out there? In this chat, I don't know. I know there's another buret here, but in Mongolia, there are lots of burets here from Ulan Ude. I'm happy about the situation because of another reason. It helps Burats and Mongols to come closer together, which kind of I hope it will make our bonds stronger. I know there will be like a bit of fighting here and there. Some people might not like it, but overall, by being exposed to each other more, will eventually help us to accept each other and understand each other's differences and learn to love each other more and gravitate to each other. I hope so. That's why I'm quite happy with the current situation. I really enjoyed the Mongolian language. I do not believe that it's hard to learn. Yeah, it's not hard to learn if you have motivations and passion and materials, good materials. Good for you. Yay. Mongolian is much easier language to learn from structural standpoint than English is. Yes, it is. Mongolian, especially with suffixes, everything is very well standardized, whereas with English prefix and suffixes, they could mean this and that, and you can pronounce this word this way, but then the another word that way, and English is kind of like a mixed hot pot language of many ingredients from different languages. So it's very irregular. Mongolian is very standardized. So from the perspective of like logic kind of thing, many people would prefer Mongolian over English when learning it. Where did you study Russia? I studied in Moscow. I don't know if you asked me, but yeah. But there is so many subtleties in half Mongol makes it difficult to get a genuine grip. Well, if you learn the standard neutral language, it should be fine, easy. But if you learn the informal language, yeah, there will be lots of subtleties. That's for sure. I'm English, but I speak Dutch and German. So you speak Germanic languages. That's great. Dutch is like a transition to German for English people, I think, and vice versa. I'm picking up on growing vocabulary. It is the word suffixes. Yeah. Once you get the grip of suffixes, it'll be very easy for you to orientate yourself within Mongolian verbs and nouns. Inner Mongolians always say that Halkh dialect changed under Russian influence. Son of Mongolia film in the 1935 can literally show us that wasn't the case. Well, how to say, it was impacted by Cyrillic up to some point. I can't give proofs, but I do believe by changing the medium of language, you can have certain impact on the language itself. In a sense, in a pronunciation, phonetic way, the written way, and also sometimes you can even impact on the grammar, on the structure. So the southern Mongolian dialects, maybe they retain more of the true essence of the Mongol language better than us. For example, nowadays Mongolians, they say олон хүмүүсүүд, which is wrong because in Western languages they have to add plural form to the nouns even when you mention it's in the plural form with another word. For example, олон хүмүүсүүд is a wrong way to say many people. Well, let's say many humans. In Mongolian, we would say many human. We don't add plural form on the noun. But nowadays, people are doing it. And I think it's the influence from the Western languages, such as Russian and English. But speak, if not spell. And there is a strong Mongolian community in the UK, in the region of 25,000 families. That's quite a lot. I hope it's 25,000, not 250,000. No, it should be 25,000. Shouldn't be more than that. I can highly recommend Naminger on YouTube. They helped me in the beginning. I've been learning since 2018 and 19. I think they're great. I watched their previous videos, like the same as you watched my previous videos. You'll see that my previous videos were not the best when it comes to the quality of the content. And Naminger's previous videos weren't great. They had passion and everything just like me, but I think they're doing a better job now, I think. Because now I'm like getting more experience, getting more hardware equipment to make better videos. So like last thing which I bought was that LED light in the background. It gives that nice vibrant vibe to the video. And yeah, just slowly I'm building this channel up, and hopefully I'll be able to make great contents with these equipment and make good language courses, inshallah. English hunts other languages for sport and wears their vocabulary as trophies. Good stuff, yeah. Or there's another joke that English brings other languages into back alley, beats them up, and then takes their vocabularies or something like that. Yeah, English is a bit of a mess. Yeah, it is. But that's another beauty of the English language, which is the diversity, kinda. Might sound a bit woke, but it's cool how it managed to absorb so many languages into itself. It's cool stuff. English is a Germanic language and uses French, German, and apparently in the US Greek influences. Yeah, Greek influenced many languages. Also, yeah, like English has Latin as well for church and judicial purposes mostly. Agree with Alpha and I put there 100 Mongolian part of speech videos on passive, listen to them while I do housework. Oh, cool. Maybe I could try to do the same. The typo is gonna bug me. Hey. For every internalized, there's a bit of exercise. Ise comes from Greek. Ise from French. Yeah. I guess it must be an old Indo-European element, maybe. Tir imhte she. The app I use to learn Mongolian often uses similar constructions. It's just that in Buryak dialect, pronouns always have no gender and confused me. Yeah, it's most of the Mongolic, Turkic, Tungusik, Japanese and Korean, I think, they don't have genders. Like, there are no pronouns for genders. Just say that. Tir can be person or an object. It doesn't matter. Tir. And you'd have to find it from the context. Yeah. I've heard the reason why we don't have genders in the language is because uh, mm, in the past, at least like long time ago in the past, the nomadic lifestyle, um, everyone used to be able to do almost every type of work. So there wasn't really much of a necessity to differentiate them from the labor perspective. Uh, so everyone kind of, like, work-wise, yeah, they were equal, kinda. So that's why we don't have pronouns, genders for pronouns. But that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but it makes sense. Because when we go to the countryside, yeah, well, of course, men and women, they have their roles and they have their own duties and so on. But when the time is required, like, when the situation requires them, they both, like men and women, can do almost all the jobs. Of course, it's to a different level, but still. That, yeah, Nico says that does make sense, yeah. Like, women from the countryside, when they come to the city, and when we have to, I don't know, let's say move stuff from here and there, they lift heavy stuff, and then we're like, oh shit, like that woman is just like, she's working as much as us, like, oh wow. Yeah, but the city girls now, and they're frail, like they're weak. They're like, oh no, I can't. I'm just joking. I have nothing against them. But it's true. The difference between like strength of girls from the city and girls from the countryside, it's quite noticeable. I know probably the situation is similar in your countries as well. Like, farmers tend to be more, I don't know, well built, fit. Spoken Chinese has only one word for he, she. Written, there's 3 separate cars. Yeah, that's what I've heard about Chinese. Yeah. And I guess maybe in the written language they had to be specific about what they're trying to say, but in the oral, in the spoken language, they understood it from the context. Maybe. That's just my guess, but I could be wrong. And so yes, by the way, we have social media pages and communities. You can contact us on Facebook. There's Hachapuri69. Instagram is also Hachapuri69, if I'm not mistaken. It is in the description. On Discord, there's Monkey Empire. You can check those places up, and if you have anything to say, ask, or suggest, do contact us using your preferred platform. And yes, like if you have good, what you call ideas, yeah, let us know. Music is a good way to absorb the Mongolian language. I think so, yes. Let me think of a Mongolian song. A simple Mongolian song, which is nice to sing, but at the same time also helps people to learn the language. I like songs of Nisvanis. Definitely need to check you out on the gram. I can highly recommend A Sound, Nagi, Cherja. Juve Juve Ju. Juve Juve Ju is it's kind of written a bit in a very literature form. Like it's written in a poetry. If you learn from the Who, and you start speaking like how they sing, we'll be like, we'll be super surprised because you'll be speaking to us in a poetic form, and then I'm like, oh, who is he? Like, so wise in the ways of Mongolian poetry, yeah. Just like Monty Python. My personal favorite is Nisvanis. They're kind of like Mongolian Nirvana, I guess. The way how they write their songs is closer to the spoken language that we have today. Сайхан болдог юм. Үгүйгээр би амьдарч чадахгүй юм байна. Чадахгүй юм байна. Чадахгүй юм байна. Yeah, that's a song called Bad Habit. Mozartshil. It's a song about bad habit. Singing, what have I done? Like I thought I said I'm not gonna do it again. It's not me, and but like without this, like when I do this, I feel good, and I cannot live without this, and I cannot live without this. That's what it talks about. So very easy to understand, simple song, but at the same time, fun song, I would say. We all have what you call those sweet sins. How you call it in English? I forgot. Vice or vicious habits or sins, something like that. Yeah, I think you would relate to it if you understand the song. And yes, Phu la la la. Where are you living now? I'm living in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city, the only place to be. You should check out Zjiban. They recently did a YouTube vid near Seattle and Mansfield. Great Mongolian kid band, a family of 3. Wow. ZGE, is that the initiative of their names? Cool stuff. I haven't heard about this band. Maybe I'll check them out on YouTube. Low. Okay, wait. Let me get some links. No. They pronounce it like Zei. Strange. I would pronounce it as G. So I think the curse words people use also depends on where they live. Grew up in Ireland. I never heard Altsman, Matarman, Mogaman until a girl from the countryside cried like that. Like Matarman, yeah, that's I've heard of that curse word. It means like literally it means my crocodile, because min is a short form of mini, but like we can't just say matter. Like if I say matter, then I'm just saying crocodile. But if I want to say you're a crocodile, then I say matarmin. But like when you say matarmin, we just understand that the person is talking about us or them. I don't know, whoever who is directed, and yeah, it just means that you're ugly, like a crocodile. Like Mohammed, that's a strange word. Altsman, yes, Altsman. Yeah, I would usually use it for short people. Like if a short person is saying stupid stuff, I don't know, annoying me, I would say, I think I could say that. I wouldn't, but it's possible. Mocha, strange. I was so baffled at first. The pronouns affect verb endings because we have, for example, be yabanup, I'm going, chi yabanash, you're going, bite yabanapte, we're going. Yeah, I think we have a bit similar thing. No, not fully, but maybe we have, but I can't think of it. Like Yauchban, Yauchban, Yauchban. For us, it's like Yauchban. Probably. Okay. The most commonly used curse word is curse words. One of them would be the Russian word pizdets or pizda. We say it often, and usually the contracted form, which should be sta. We often say it. But if you say ste, it becomes соёлын тэргүүний ажилтан, which is a very good title for people who contribute to the culture. Another word is shach. It means to penetrate. In modern day, it became the equivalent of the word to fuck, but yeah, it can be used in many different forms. Like if we don't believe what the other person is saying, we say pitkishagate. It's like don't penetrate. It means don't lie. And also like the word shach can be substituted for almost every verb out there. I don't know. Like for example, the word to write. I'm writing to someone. Like, and I wrote a message to someone. I can say, like I fucked with my phone to him or to her, like that. That's very commonly used Mongolian swear word. Another is latlar. I don't know what it means, but I just say it. Well, I don't say it much. People say it. They give many different meanings. I've heard like one meaning from another meaning from another person. At the end of the day, no one can give the proper etymology and definition of the word. Like, there's no standard. We also like to use the word hotzach, to bark. Yeah. If you go down rabbit hole for swearing in Mongolian, you eventually reach a place where Mongolian speakers claim they don't have any native swear words. They borrowed them from Russia. Only one word, pistets. That's the only borrowed word, as I know. Then you find the Russian speakers claiming they don't have any native swear words because they borrowed all from Mongolia. Yeah. Well, I know that if I'm not mistaken, the word ura or hooray, it comes from Mongolian. Hora. I believe it's true, but I don't have all the evidences, but I believe it's true. Maybe you were. Why does it always seem as if Mongols are speaking under the breath? Is this a product of pre-revolution era? Enunciation is always second to the word. I don't know what you mean by that. Under the breath, yeah, they do say it's kind of sounds windy, whispery type of language. Yeah, pista in Mongolian, yes. That's the way how I pronounce it. But yeah, sta. That's the abbreviation. Or no, the shortcut, I guess. Finnish has the best swear words. I like vittu perkele. Yes, more spoken in whispers. Yeah, I think some sounds come from a bit below here, and yeah, maybe I'll try to give it another shot. Maybe you can hear it again. Who knows? Сэдвийн тухай мэдлэг. Ярих сэдвээ сайн мэдэхгүй байх нь анхаарлыг алдуулагч зүйл. Хэд их шинжлэх ухааны мэрэгжлийн үг хэллэг хэрэглэхэд сонсогчдын ойлголтыг задалдаг тул анхаарал нь сарниж удахтай болно. Уйдаж анхаарал сарнихад тарих би мэдээлэл хүлээж авахгүй гэж унтах эсвэл тухайн орчноос зүхтах хоёр үйлдэл гаргадаг. Иймд ярих шаардлага нь байвч үгээ энгийн хэрэглээний үгээр солих нь чухал. Хэд цэцэрхэж хэд мэдлэгтэй мэд хандаж гадаад үг мэрэгжлийн үг хэллэг олноор хэрэглэх нь яриаг бүрэн амжилтгүй болгоно. That's kind of a example speech in Mongolian. Maybe it sounded whispering, but I find it very full and well pronounced. It doesn't sound like whispers. But of course, just an impression coming from a native speaker rather than someone who doesn't speak it. But yeah, they say it sounds like parcel tongue from Harry Potter. But of course, like when I read it out loud for y'all, I try my best to pronounce things well compared to how I talk to my friends and family. It's I speak faster and not with high, let's say, intonations or pronunciations or whatever. YouTube doesn't show how I swear Finnish. Well, that's great. I don't know. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, ideas, questions, or whatever, you can contact us using these links, I guess. Yep. It's kind of messed up. Sorry. Maybe I'll try it again. But nah, it's too much of a hassle. Oh, Marco de Pauyan says hi. Marcel de Pauyan. Marcel, are you from France? But it's written differently though, Marcel. I don't know. To me, the Mongolian language is beautiful. The difficulty for me, Johnny Foreign, is getting an ear to pick up words properly. I guess it is down to my experience. The frog cult. Yeah. Yeah. It's a website I personally wrote on HTML. It's only on HTML. There's no CSS, no Java, pure HTML, just like in the good old days. It took me a few days, 5-6 days to get that thing done. I had to learn it from scratch. Yeah, so Marcel de Pauyan, est-ce que tu de France or beyond de France, I think. Is there a safe swear word that you can use to say in front of your parents like blin? I think so. Nofsh, Nosh, yes. Nosh. It means trash. That's the word I most commonly use in front of my friends and family. Yeah, I always like when Russians say blin, I think of pancakes. Blin. Yeah, because blin or blinchiki means pancake. So when someone says blin, like pancake, that's like what the best you can come up with. Just joking. I think it comes from a different word, but it has a similar sound as pancake. That's what I've heard, but I could be wrong though. It's very easy to mishear sta and pista if said quietly. I remember one time during class I was in front of board solving problems and fixed up and sta, but girl beside me misheard, and the teacher and told teacher, now I want to play. Yeah, like I'll remember that girl forever. There's another word in Mongolian, which is yasta. Yas is kind of like set things, kind of like culture, but it's not custom culture. I don't know. Yes, and ta is with, so with culture, with custom, and it means you have to do this way, or maybe it's just I don't know. Yasta is like it's difficult to say the other meaning, but it's kind of a weak word that you put in to say something is very like to give emphasis on something else. Maybe very, you could translate it as very sometimes, and yeah, we use this word quite often, yasta, but it sounds like sta, and if someone says sta and then like we can ask like, did you just curse? And then we'll, no, I say yasta. Оролцсон танд маш их баярлалаа. Их Британис танд хамгийн сайн сайхан бүхнийг хүсэн ярэ. Hey, that's a very nice Mongolian. Thank you. Баярлалаа. Хамт байсанд их баярлалаа шүү. Монголоос чамд хамгийн халуун, дулаан, хайр болон одоо юу өмсөлт байхгүй те. Чамд хүсч чадахгүй юм чи. Одоо юу гэдэг юм бэ? Халуун мэд хүргээ чамд хартай шүү. Yeah, that's how I would normally speak to my friends. Do you have a recent past tense for verbs? We use it when we did something just a minute ago and we want to highlight. The above word yapa in the ordinary past tense would be yapa, but in the yavov, yeah, we would say yavov. Тэрсэн тийшээ явсан, явв, явлаа. Ремонт баба яка. Yeah, baba. It's like Russian is saying, I'm a woman. Yeah, baba. Yeah, but явв, yeah, baba. It sounds like if you say yeah, baba, I would think of it as a very old form of Mongolian, kinda. Because I think that's how people might have pronounced it in the old times. Yeah, Alpha Chiram says, Harteshu, no homo. Yeah, no homo. I think saying pista as pista or sta makes it less strong. Yeah, like when you say pista, it sounds strong, but when you say sta, it becomes a bit less strong, kinda. Because I don't know, everyone says sta, but like when someone really gets angry, they say pista. Baba in Russian for woman is kinda rude. Yeah, it is. In the past it wasn't, but now it is. Yeah. Yep. reminds me, someone told me that there are a couple of tricky words, pairs where short versus long vowels is difference between that you want to say a bar fight. So maybe a video topic. Yes. Okay. I can give you an example. In Buddha, some people say utho, which literally means pista. What does it mean? The pussy? Because pistiat means pussy, right? Interesting. Like vagina, but informal. So, yeah, as Will LeBron mentioned, someone told him that there are a couple of tricky word pairs where short versus long vowels is the difference between what you meant to say and the bar fight. So maybe video topic. I don't know that exact specific example about bar fight. But all, ul, and also we have ul as well. So these words, I'll try to say them again. All, These words are problematic in Mongolian for foreigners, I think, in my opinion. You'd have to understand the difference by hearing and also by saying. We can differentiate that, but for beginners it might be difficult. For example, ol means the shoe, the sole. I think it's called shoe sole. The feet, the lower part of your feet, or maybe the lower part of your shoe is ol. Ul is an imperative form, an order to say cry. Like you tell someone to cry, you say ul. Ol is mountain. Ol is imperative form of to find. You're saying someone find. Ul is negation of something. That ul it means action, deed. Ul means cloud, and ul means hunger. Was that a Mongolian tongue twister? No, it's not a tongue twister. I just brought these several words that sound very similar to each other. Because I was studying French. I was thinking about how messed up this language is. Because I came up with many words that sound very similar, and then the only difference between them is like slight variation in the vowel sound. And then I was like, after like few months, I was like, I wonder if Mongolian have similar stuff. And then I started to find words that sound very similar to each other, and then I was like, yeah, like we're not really that different. And that's how I found these words after thinking about it. Utko is utkin, I think. Utkin, it's like thick. Utkin, no, utkin, no. It's different. Utkin is different. Utkin is also pista. Like I know utre is something connected to pussy, I haven't heard of this word, or maybe I've heard, but I haven't thought. I didn't know about this word. And some say it's a swear word. This sound is hard to pronounce. Yeah, yeah. I think Buryats don't have sound. They say la la la. I think I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. Uh, yeah, if you want to learn how to pronounce it, you can say la, lo, 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 lu. Like once you find this sound, you can do practice. Like I don't know, 1 minute of practice a day. La, le, la, 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 le, le. And after some time, you can say, like you can say as, which means pussy. Ol, 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 ul. And then like ol, 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 ol. And then you can say like lasar, which is a curse word. And once you get comfortable with the sound, you can start adding it in words. Khaltar. And once you get comfortable with words, you can try to say sentence, like words, phrases that contain tl sound in both words. And maybe you'll be able to start saying this sound easily after doing these practices. Your tongue, muscle memory will remember it after a few trials. Oh my god, sorry for typo. I wrote pistes like this. I need more ear practice. 3 of those sounds the same to me still. I know. It's messed up. Myself happens to us all. I mean, yeah. I haven't heard of this word. I know tre. This sounds so funny in Russian, yeah. For English speakers trying to learn to pronounce the Mongolian th, try watching the Ice Age movie and copying how it's the same mouth shape, and you can move to L from there. Yeah, especially if you speak German, they have the sound that is in between h and sh, which is hl, I think. I don't know how to do it properly, but I remember it's like la, le, like ich, os, something like that. And then from there you understand how to say ich, like ich, I keep missing the German pronunciation. I have to practice it. Ich bin ein Hitler or something like that. Oh my god, Steam already is for 3 and for almost 4 hours. Really? Oh wow, it's 2:39. Whoa. Yeah, it started from 11 p.m. here in Mongolia, and now it's 2:39. Whoa. I didn't notice at all. It's 2:39 in the morning. It starts at 11 p.m. You're having fun. Yes, I'm having fun. I lost track of time. I thought I was here for 1 hour and something. I just worked through lunch listening to you. Go to bed, Batman. Say hi to Froggy for us. Yes, I'll say hi to Froggy. Thanks for streaming. You're awesome. Yeah, thank you for being with us. Thank you all. Like right now, I'm not really interested in sleeping, but yeah, as you all say, I have to go to bed, and also my camera here, it's dying. The battery is dying. Even though it's plugged in by a USB cable, it can last for 3 hours, maybe maximum 4 hours. But yeah, it's been up there for 3 hours and it's dying soon. But I do have second web camera, which doesn't need any battery. It's plugged directly to the to the computer. But this one looks better. And anyways, yes, I just worked. Thanks for streaming. You're awesome. Thank you, Rumin. And you had me listening up to now. You must be doing something right. Okay. I'll go to sleep. But I'm not sleepy at all. But I have to go to sleep, I guess. More interested in watching hentai. Yes. But I'm joking. I'm more interested in talking to you all. Okay, thank you for sticking around, and I love you all. I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you, everyone. Bayırta. No homo. Good night. Sachen amrare. Yep, my camera died. It was a great stream. Loved it.